Want your pup cup? Zeffie's home. She's getting a pup cup. A homemade pup cup. Kia ora. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1223. Reunited. Yay. I got my girl back. I am so happy. She's been such a good girl while I've been away with the people that have been looking after her and everything else. Hey, you dropped some down here. There you go. The only way I could get her up here was to give her a pup cup. It's homemade. She loves pup cups. In fact, if we're ever in line, hey, you're getting it all over me too. There you go. If we're getting in line to get drinks or anything, she starts whining in the back seat, like to tell me to order her pup cup. And as soon as I tell her pup cup is ordered, whoosh, silence. But can't quite see it because of the banner on the bottom of the way. But it is so good to have her back again. Today has been crazy. I got up this morning, did my normal morning routine, and then it was put some stuff in the car, head out to the storage, put the stuff that I bought back from storage in San Diego into my storage here, and left some stuff here in the RV. There's one box I'm going to send a picture of my mother to because she's been at me. Hey, a bit down here. Wait, here where your paw was. Hey, what's this? I finally unboxed the foam that I bought, a big slab of foam rubber to replace the cushions in the dinette, and I finally unboxed it. It's sitting stretched out. And so later on this week, we will split it in half, put the new covers, which look like this, on the seats, and that will be that job finally done. And my mother's going to be like, oh my gosh, she's going to be all titillated that it's all been done. Twitter-pated, that's the word. Twitter-pated. So did the storage thing, then went to get the mail. The line at the mail place was out the door. Of course, I skip ahead of the line and go inside and get my mail out. And I had 4 notices of packages sitting there. And I've got to share one of them with you because it is absolutely gorgeous. And I got told, with my birthday coming up on Friday, I thought, okay, packages that are here for me, unless I know exactly what's in the package, because there was one that I placed an order from and it came on through, and it's really, really good reading. It's these books and really, really good reading. I can't tell you about the books because they could end up being Christmas presents. So I can't tell you about them. I got them because I needed the information that's in them. But then what I'm going to do afterwards. So anyway, so my friend Kathy, she said, oh, did you get my present? I said, yeah, it's sitting over there. It's going to get opened on Friday. She says, oh, it's not a birthday present. You can go ahead and open it right now. As soon as I open it, I see happy birthday written on the envelope. I'm like, you lied to me. You told me it was not a birthday gift. And yet I see happy birthday on the envelope. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. But she's got on the card, and it's also the same. It's on the envelope. Happy birthday, believe in the magic of sparkles, which I do. And then she's got this cute picture of Zeffie girl in the top, a ray of sunshine in your birthday. And so I like the back of the card too. But the gift was really, really cool. What the gift is, it is an engraved certificate holder. So it's got our names on it. And when you open it up inside, she has this beautiful, which you can probably read, which says, it's got Zeffie and I sitting there, and it says, you are not just a dog, you are my sanity, definitely. You are my happiness, yep. You are my teacher. You are my therapist and my best friend. Isn't that awesome? How cool is that? So I was very thankful to receive that. Sorry, I got itchy nose. And I still have 2 packages to open. And then this afternoon, I get a message from my mail place saying, you have 5 packages. I'm like, I just picked up 4. So I'm going to have to go back at some point this week to pick up the other 5. But like I said, the line was out the door. People were standing in line to get into the UPS store with shopping carts. And there's a supermarket right next door to the UPS store. They'd gone over, got shopping carts, put their boxes, their packages into the shopping carts, and were using those to get them into the UPS store. And the least amount I saw in the shopping carts was 3 boxes through to 10. was the most. And so, of course, when I got inside, there's all these people waiting and everything else, and the line was out the door. So I got my mail, signed off on the documents that I need to sign to get my packages. And then I just quietly waited until we got up into the line where I walked in the door. So I'd taken note of the person that I had walked in the door, who was last in line before I walked in the door. So I knew where my place was in line, because I didn't want to. I also had some stuff that had to be returned to Amazon. So I didn't want to push ahead of anybody else. If it was just picking up the parcels, not a problem, because she was in the middle of doing other stuff and waiting for the system to process. But I suggested I have a return to do, and it took a little bit to get that return done. But we got it done. It's done. And Amazon's already refunded my money, so I'm happy with that. It was a product I purchased specifically for my trip, and then it didn't work how it was supposed to. When I got it, I couldn't get it to work like it was supposed to. They kept sending me videos on how to attach the two pieces together, and you could hear it clicking into place. I could not get it to click into place because in the area where the little tab thing goes, there was a blockage, and it was actually the same. And I said, this is faulty. It's got this blockage here. Sent them a picture of it. And they go, oh, we'll send you another one. So they sent me another one. Exactly the same blockage. I was like, that's it. I'm done. And I said to myself, you can't get me a replacement that's going to work before this date, because that's the date I'm leaving. I specifically bought them for this. I'm sending them back. And they were, oh, but can you send us a video on how you do it? And so we can see. And I'm like, exactly how you do it in your video. So I'm going to reply to them and let them know it's gone back, because I couldn't get it to work. There was a base that was meant to attach to the top piece of it, and because of this little blockage, it was just hanging on by about this much. And yeah, every time I put it on there, turned it over, it was undone. I was like, it's out of here. And so I went to storage, got the mail, went over, picked up Zeffie. The sitter had everything sitting outside the door waiting for me. She had Zeffie in her harness. Come here, sweet girl. Had Zeffie in her harness. Put Zeffie on a leash and brought her outside. And Zeffie stood there with her tail wagging. She wasn't as excited to see me as she was the last time when I just left her overnight. And she'd been with these people for 10 days. And she only just started warming up to the husband. We feel that one of the things I think is that she had a problem with when the first 5 months of her life when she was abused was there were a lot of males around that abused her. But I didn't realize how deep that went. And she was in this house for 10 days and she only just started warming up to the husband. I said, well, when she comes back in February, have him be the one that gives her the treats. Have him be the only one that gives him treats. And I explained to her when we were staying at another camp resort, we were there for 6 months, and the guy across the way had treats, and he'd asked to clear first if it was okay to give Zeffie treats. I said, yep. And so he would give Zeffie treats, and she was the only male that she would allow to pet her because he had treats. And what was really funny is I've been teaching her to get up on her back legs and stuff, so I could and stand alone on her back legs. So I could teach her to dance, teach her to walk backwards, teach her to walk forwards. She bunny hops forwards right now, and that sort of thing. And he said to me one day, she's sitting in front of him, very pretty, waiting for her treat, and he's digging in his pocket to get the treat out, and he looks at me and says, "Does she stand?" And like that, Zeffie pops up in a perfect stand on her back legs with her front paws like this and looks at him and goes, "Yep, I stand." And I looked at him and I went, "Well, I guess she does now." Because it was the first time she had done it unassisted. So that was pretty cool. So I said, yeah, so we've arranged next time when she goes back in February that the husband will be the one that will be the treat giver. So anytime that Zeffie gets a treat, it's from the husband and the husband only. Because he was concerned he had never seen her eat around him, and she refused to eat when he was present. She would only eat during the day when the wife was there with the 18-month-old, or when he had gone to bed at night. That was the only 2 times that she would eat. She wouldn't eat when he was around. And she said he would even get down on the floor, lay down on the floor with her and call her, and she wouldn't come over. And I said, I'm so sorry. So I didn't realize how badly males had affected her. But we got home. I have been teaching her to go from the car directly into the RV without a leash on. It's all of 8 feet. And she's been doing very, very well with that. And so I unhooked a harness, had the leash in hand, and she walked, and I said, inside, and she just jumped down and straight up into the RV. I went, good girl. I said, now wait while I get the stuff out. Wait's working better than stay. I said, so wait while I get the stuff out of the car, and then we can have breakfast together. And so I turned around to pull some stuff out of the car, and I hear this clink as her tags clinked, and she had jumped out there. I says, "What are you doing out here?" I says, "Get back in there." And she looks at me, she looks at the car, and she just wanders off towards the front of the site. I'm calling her. She completely ignores me. She doesn't even look back to see what I'm doing. She just keeps on walking, and she walks down the street to the corner, to the short corner, takes a left onto the grass there, and I'm like, damn it. So I grabbed her leash, car's wide open, RV's open, and I just take off after her. I don't even stop to look at anything else. And I'm not very good at running. I've never have been a good runner. And so I'm kind of like doing this little trot, fast walk thing to try and catch up with her. I get around the corner, and she's halfway down the block between our street and the next street. And I'm calling her. And she's busy sniffing the little stump thing there. And she's figured out how, even though she's a female and they crouch when they pee, she's figured out how to prop her leg up on something and crouch and pee. So she can pee like the boy dogs pee. Weirdest thing. And so she pees. And so I get within like 10 feet of her, and she just turns, completely ignores me, and trots off. And I'm calling her and calling her and calling her. And there's this guy down on the other corner, 2 blocks away from our street. And he's there with his dog. He sees Zeffie coming and me walking after her because I didn't want to chase her because I knew she would speed up. And because she was ignoring me, she wouldn't see me turn around and walk away, which is what you're supposed to do, not chase after the dogs. And so he takes his dog and walks across the street, like completely ignoring, staying away from my dog. Zeffie pays him no attention. She gets to the corner, sniffs around there. It's one of her favorite places to do her thing, pees. And then I'm like, oh, good. And so I start catching up to her again, and she just finishes what she's doing, and she turns and walks down the street. I'm like, damn it. And so I get around the corner. I'm like, where the hell is she gone? Because I can't see her. She's 3/4 of the way down the street towards the other side. And I'm like, what the heck? Actually, no, sorry, she's halfway down the street, and she's pooping. And I'm like, great, now I've got to catch her, then come back and pick up her poop, because if I pick up her poop beforehand, she'll disappear and I won't know where she goes. And so 3/4 of the way down, there was this woman walking her little chihuahua, and Zeffie goes trotting on up to her. So I just have to check my order's on the way. I think my order is now on the way. Yay! Just had to put my grocery order in. And I'm like calling Zeffie, and Zeffie's just like completely ignoring me. She doesn't even stop, doesn't turn. She just happily trots along, tail up, wagging, just trotting along. And this woman with this little chihuahua reaches down and grabs Zeffie's harness, because Zeffie just walked right up to her. She will walk up to other people and they will grab her, and then she just quite happily just stands there and waits with them until I get there. But she won't come to me. She'll go to somebody else when I'm calling her. I didn't have time to grab treats for her either. So she stands there just quite happily waiting and just sniffing at the little chihuahua and still not acknowledging me. And so I get up there and I thank the woman so much for grabbing hold of her. I don't know where she would have gone. Snap the leash on her, and the woman decides to give Zeffie a treat because she was a good girl and came straight to her to be held. And so I'm like, okay, you can give her a treat. And so she's and she's pooped over there. And I says, yes, I saw that. We're heading back that way to go and get her business that she's done along the way. And so I thanked the woman again. And Zeffie wanted to keep going one way. I'm like, no, we've got to go back and pick up your poop. And so she very reluctantly was sort of like, okay. And so we walked back, picked up the poop, carried on, and walked all the way home. I put her inside. I says, you stay there. And I closed the screen door this time. But then I grabbed the long leash and I put her on the long leash, and she wouldn't come outside when I put the long leash on her. She wanted to stay inside. So I eventually took her out, because once I started pushing stuff in there, especially her crate, it would get caught up on the leash. And so she went and stood at the front of the property and just stood there and looked all around and tried to go forward. So that was her little adventure today. Then we came inside and had breakfast, and by this stage it was like around 11:10 or something, and I had to be on a Zoom call, and I had 10 minutes to get on a Zoom call. Got on the Zoom call and everything else, and it's been a busy morning. And then I get on the chat and it's like crazy. It's busy. It was busy today. It was nice and steady, get me going. And now I'm getting this out of the way quickly. I've placed my shopping order. It's going to be here soon. And while I'm waiting for the groceries to arrive, I'm going to be submitting my assessments. And I have 2 assessments to submit before, Eastern time. It's going to be before 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm on Mountain, so that's only 2 hours. so before 9 p.m. But it's also the 5th of December, and I said I was starting up my James Bond Fest again to watch the last 2 movies. And so Spectre is tonight's movie with a very rebellious James Bond in this one. And I'm sort of like, So my question is, if you were James Bond in a similar situation, with some circumstances being the same, would you also be rebellious? Now wouldn't that be interesting? Would you be rebellious, or would you do what the boss told you? So he's kind of been a little rebellious, but this is his first assignment since M died in the last movie, and so now he's got the new M. But we've got the guy back. Oh, what's his name? Got the nerdy guy back as Q, and he's awesome. I like the way that he plays Q. And then what was her name? Moneypenny's back as well. The Moneypenny they had in the last movie, where we got to meet. She was actually out in the field and decided she liked being behind the desk better, and so she became secretary for M, and that's how that happened. So tonight it's all about Spectre and learning about how Spectre. It's kind of like how Spectre got started, because in the earlier movies of James Bond, we see Spectre is already in existence. Yes, groceries are on the way. They'll be here in 10 minutes. So I'm going to put Zeffy on patrol. So yeah, it's a good movie, and because I'm back with the Blu-ray, I can actually watch it on Blu-ray tonight. So that's good, because I only have that one on Blu-ray. But first, I have to unpack the groceries, walk the dog, and do my assessments and get them in on time. I have to get them in by 8 o'clock if I want to watch Spectre tonight. So I'm going to have a busy couple of hours. Anyway, that's it from me for today. And I'm just so happy that, Zeffy and I are back together again. I have missed her. She's done her normal, laying in the sun up there on the window, watching out the window for everything. And now I'm going to go and open up the blinds for her so she can watch for the groceries to arrive in about 10 minutes. Anyway, that's it from us for this evening. Have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here. Actually, do I have anything on? I think I have something on tomorrow night, don't I? Pretty sure I do. Yes, I do. So based on when that finishes as to when I get online. So it should be somewhere close to 6 o'clock Pacific time. Should be. But things can change, because I do have an event tomorrow night and Wednesday night that could delay those. But anyway, hey, sweetie girl, you want to come up? Come up. You want to come finish licking your bowl? You still got little bits in there. She's going to make sure she gets all the drinks. Anyway, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening, somewhere around 6 p.m. Pacific time.